What is going on right now with these episodes? It's like it was a role reversal between Orange and ReZero this week, with ReZero getting me hype and putting a smile on my face, and Orange bringing a sadness I didn't expect from this series. I thought that it was going to turn out differently than it did, but it's dark. This series is dark. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Scott Reports. Today I'm bringing you an anime review of Orange, episode 6, and I'm just going to take my time with this one as we learned a very big thing in this episode that just turned this entire series on its head. We learned what happened to Kakeru. We get confirmation of what happened to Kakeru and his mother in this episode, and I hated to have been right about this, as this is something I've been speculating ever since episode 1, because things with Kakeru just seemed a little bit too weird as far as his accident. This episode we find out that it wasn't an accident. He actually did commit suicide. I didn't want to be right about that. I really didn't. I didn't think that this series was gonna go that dark. I always had a hint of it, but it really did. With the kids 10 years in the future too, you know, when they went to go visit Kakeru's grandmother, he actually left a note behind saying that he's sorry that he's doing this to her. And when people ask about it, to tell them that it was an accident. But he's going to visit his mother so he can apologize. And we find out that Kakeru's regret was that he wasn't there for his mother. And that ate at him every day of his life. That her last days, he wasn't there to say he's sorry for what he done. See, let's get down to what happened. Basically, you know, Naho and the letters and everything that she's getting, it was 2 regrets in particular that were really big for her. And she messed up both of those. The first was to let Kakeru go home. Not to meet up with him. Let him go home on that first day of school. I mean, the letter said, seriously, don't let him go with you guys. And the second was for her to not tell Kakeru how she really felt about him when it came with the whole Ueda thing. And other things happened in this episode, but I really want to focus on this because, I mean, leading up to it, you know, you got the festival and everything going on with Naho wanting to be together with Kakeru, and they're supposed to meet at the fireworks, and we get confirmation that, you know, she likes him and he likes her. It was a little bit in the beginning of the episode with, you know, Naho asking, you know, well, with Kakeru asking Naho, like, which one of the guys would you date? And, you know, she was too shy to answer. And Taka and the other girl, they come in by asking Kakeru, you know, like, well, which one of us would you date? They flipped the script on him. And, you know, honestly, if I was him, I'd be like, I'll take all 3 of y'all. But, you know, he didn't answer as well. He said, that's a secret. I can't really tell right now. But then, you know, Ueda, she wins this festival and she does something to try to stop Naho from being with Kakeru, and she's still stalking around. So she tells her to go get some boxes and take him somewhere she's going to get in trouble. But she goes to meet Kakeru at the meeting place, and props to Hakita, because not only was Suwa looking out for her, but also Hakita was looking out as well, because he knew that she was looking for Kakeru, and he said, you know what, he went the other way, go to the soccer field, so she wouldn't follow them like a dumbass. That opened up for Naho to get there just in time before the fireworks and get there for Kakeru, and the two basically say that they like each other, they hold hands, they watch fireworks, and things are better for them from there. And this is where the episode opens up, where another point of the letter is for Naho to tell Kakeru how she feels, and moreover ask about his mother. And this is where the sadness comes in, as he's talking about his mother. You know, he was saying that day that we moved here, or I started school, my mother was mentally ill. And I was watching over her, and she was supposed to be transferred to another hospital that day. But I met you guys and I had so much fun that I just called or I texted her and said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make it. He took it for granted. He said, you know, I'll just tell her I'm sorry later, I'll apologize. And he hung out with Naho and her friends. And then when he got back that day, because his mother was mentally ill, this was probably the first time that she had been without him. She killed herself. And that's something that weighed heavily on Kakeru, as he prays every day that God will tell his mother that he's sorry, and if it's anything, he just wishes he can go back and change that differently. And now you have this affecting Naho as well, as she's saying, this is my fault. I should have listened to the letter. And you can't really fault her for that, because who would believe a letter at first? I mean, that was the first day. But now it's faulting her because she was told not to let him go, and he did, and he went with them, and because he was with them and had so much fun, he blew it off. He didn't go see his mother, and that was the last time. That eventually leads to his demise later. Is that just something that he was never able to shake? And people are different. Things affect people in different ways, and who knows what state of mind that Kakeru was in and how that affected him overall. I mean, the way that he died is that he actually, and I don't remember it directly, I don't know if he drove his car right into a damn semi-truck or he stepped in front of it, but it definitely wasn't an accident, as he killed himself to be with his mother. I mean, the letter says, I'm going to go to apologize to her personally in a roundabout way. Don't remember the exact words, but that's what happens. And this changes everything with this series. I mean, the letter now on Naho's mission now is to keep Kakeru happy no matter what, to make his life better, to take all that burden on him, as we find out that everybody feels a little bit responsible for what happened to him in his future life. And they're going to try to rally around him and make him, because, you know, sometimes it might just be the power of friendship that keeps him from dying, but it makes me also question a lot of things as well. It's like, what if his fate can't be changed? I mean, what if they're doing all this and he still dies? That's going to tear me apart. That's going to rip me in two if that's what's going to happen in this series. And I don't know, it's just a big thing. I mean, I had to take a break from this episode because that really did hit me right here, to know that he killed himself and that I was right about that. And again, just thinking about the future with Naho, like, what if everything she's doing won't even change that? What if he still dies anyway? That's going to be really big. I hope that this mission to save Kakeru is a successful one, as now she's going to make sure she does everything that she can to make him happy. Even her friends are in on it a little bit, like doing things like setting up the date where the two talk to each other together. You know, they were conveniently sliding out so they can be alone. You know, Suwa is still looking out, making sure that the two get together and do what they need to do. And even Kakeru, you know, he's still asking Suwa, knowing how Suwa feels about her, is it okay for me to do this? And he's like, yeah, man, go ahead, go right ahead. After he makes his confession to Naho, no one sees Kakeru again, and this is what worries me, because he may still be going down this same path. The only thing now is he opened up to someone about it instead of keeping it in to himself all these years for so long. And I just hope they can do something to save him, but that is still not it. There's still one more big bombshell in this episode, as this weighs heavily on Naho as well. She feels it's her fault. She wants to save Kakeru. She wants Kakeru to be right there 10 years with them in the future, just like everybody else, happy or at least well off like everybody else. She needs to tell somebody, but you know, you can't tell somebody that, like, hey, I got a letter from the future. We need to save Kakeru. He's going to kill himself. You can't just drop that type of weight on someone, as after he made that confession, no one has seen Kakeru in school since. And Suwa brings that up to her, like, I haven't seen him. And this is where she starts to open up. She's actually going to tell Suwa about what happened. And he cuts her off and says, are you receiving letters too? What? Wow. So, I mean, I always knew Suwa was best boy. He was always looking out for somebody else's interest. But now we get an even bigger thing going on here, because Suwa's getting letters from the future as well. So that's why he is always there to make sure that things go right for Kakeru, as even his self in the future is sending letters back to his past saying, look out for this guy. And you wonder how that has to feel. Like, does he have regrets as far as being with Naho? That could still cause a rift as well. Like, if the letter's saying something like, hey, you're gonna marry Naho and have a kid because this guy dies. I mean, that can mess you up, and you have to commend his strength, but still going through with all this as well. Because, you know, when you start getting things for the future, people can become evil. And I don't think Orange should go down that path, but it's definitely now showing why Suwa's best boy. I thought he was just being a good friend, but now he actually has a reason for doing the things that he's doing, always being at the right place and at the right time, always looking out for Naho and Kakeru. And yeah, that was the episode. Is now we have two people with letters. We know everybody felt regret for what Kakeru did. We know that Kakeru's death wasn't an accident. It was actually him just being in that dark place and committing suicide because he just cannot forgive himself for what happened with his mom. And wow, I mean, Orange just definitely took me there, and it was awesome. Definitely the best episode of the series so far, and I just can't wait till next week to dive into it. But I didn't expect to get the feels. I expected happy feels from this series, but for them to take me to this place was something big. And it's not like it's a bad thing. It was just unexpected. And again, I just didn't expect to be right about Kakeru because, again, first episode, I was like, yeah, he probably killed himself. But to find out that happened, wow, that's just crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Guys, let me know what you thought about this episode and what you think is coming up in the future in the comments. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as I am always uploading something, so it's not a shortage of content for you guys to indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me, and I really appreciate that. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. On that note, it's your boy Infrar-Ed signing out. See you soon.